So, to my family that doesn't understand, my father had triple bypass, right? When I first got to California, I knew that they were going to try to pull some extra stuff, right? Just because I am the version of the person that's going to get all the stress. I am my mother's host. You know, she is a parasite and she wants to use me as a host. So if I continue to be in her vicinity, then my father gets to just chill. But if I leave, which I learned when I was in North Carolina, if I leave, he'll message me or yell at me about not being here because she's been nagging about me the whole time. When I was in North Carolina with my uncle at his brother's house, I showed him a message of my father complaining to me about how my mother's complaining and I'm not there. And he had to listen to her bullshit now. And I was just like, why do I have to be the automatic victim? Like, why do I have to be it? So they knew to play the nice gaslighting game to get me back. So then my father came back, kind of came down to North Carolina, and that's when I had my spazzing effort with him in the car because he came to manipulate me to go back to Connecticut because he was tired of being manipulated himself. The whole time he's been using me as his sacrifice. He's been sacrificing me for them, you know, to keep his relationship with her cool. He don't care about how I feel. He don't care about none of that. He just wants to make sure that I am in the position that my mother wants me to be so she can continue to feed off of me. And then my brother could feed off of me as well. And then he could feed off of me. I already knew what it was. So when I went to North Carolina, it was all a plan. And then my family could kind of see it. But I'm sure they don't really want to see it because that's their brother. You know what I mean? So then with me trying to come to California, I knew if I stayed in North Carolina or someplace on the East Coast, they would just come get me and then drag me and guilt trip me or, you know, gaslight me way back to Connecticut. And then I'll be right back in her clutches. Because the minute I got back in the house, the second we opened up the door, she was nagging. And I took off and I drove down the street. And I knew, like, I know her. So I knew that she was applying all that to him. And he ended up having his little heart attacks or whatever have you and having to do triple bypass. So then when I called to ask how he was doing, they already were mad at me because their plan didn't work. She was mad at me, so she threw him on the phone and he told me what was going on. But then my brother, I haven't talked to my brother since because he's mad at me because he wants me to be his host as well. He wants me to sit back and listen to him and see him winning and then laugh at me and get, you know what I mean? Like the thing, I guess I did it to him with basketball. So he wants to get back at me by my mom pushing me down, holding me down while he gets off wherever he wants to get off. If I would have came back from Cali, I could have kept all my stuff in Cali. My mother would have been like, oh, well, you could find your own way back too, then I guess. She would have found some reason to get mad.